good episode. Like we shared some key points on like growth and scaling. Anybody who's trying to build something from the bottom up, do something new in their lives, these are the kind of things that can help. Recently, I did a Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything. I got so many questions, man. I'll pick out some of them.
What about Spotify visualizers? Mm-hmm. Do you know about that? I know you've done things on that front.
That's a very easy thing to do. And I think most artists can actually use this to their advantage. Welcome to the Unfiltered Podcast. I'm your host, Raf, and this is my co-host, Sahir, the engineer.
What up, bro?
What's good, bro?
Chilling, man.
How are you doing today?
Chilling. How about yourself?
Feeling good. It's exciting to see, these numbers for the podcast go up. Almost there to 20.
Nice.
We're going to look at this video when we're at like 170. We'll be like, oh, look at these.
Look at these guys. Kids. These young whippersnappers.
But yeah, that's exciting to me,
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's great.
To those who are joining us for the first time, I'm a first-gen immigrant and a tech and music entrepreneur. I'm Raf. And, I'm here joined by my co-host Sahir, the engineer. We've both got a history in the music industry and entrepreneurship. Sahir spent the past 2 decades as a recording engineer, artist.
Sir. All that.
And
all music stuff. Yeah.
He's worked with a lot of different artists and, worn a lot of hats over these years and learned a lot of nitty-gritty things about this industry. I myself, I've been an entrepreneur since I've been a child. One of the first entrepreneurial things I've ever done was selling CDs in high school.
Oh shit!
Or even before high school, it was just selling bootlegs.
Yeah.
Not even my stuff. This is movies. This is songs.
Real
this is Jay-Z albums. This is fucking.
You got the newest Jay. You got the newest Rock Nation.
Yep.
Rockefeller.
Yep.
Oh man.
There'd be new movies. I would download the fucking torrent and sell it.
Man.
It's okay. This is a long time ago.
Past the statute.
Yeah. This was in another country, so the feds can't come and get me here. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life and spent the past decade building a music brand that empowered artists from all over the world while working on other entrepreneurial goals and side hustles and so many different things that I learned so many lessons from.
Yeah.
Past couple of years I had a kid. He has a daughter. I have a son. We're making this content for them and if you guys get some value out of this, then that's the icing on the cake.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So today I just want to I really enjoy having these conversations with you. It's therapeutic,
Hell yeah.
And I think other podcaster friends of mine also agree with this type of mentality. Podcasting can become really therapeutic.
You look forward to this hour and a half, a little bit that you get to just talk about certain topics, if not just random stories. I love it, man.
Right.
Hell yeah. And that was what it was you go through regular life thinking we should talk about this, you know, or maybe we could go over this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of for today's episode, I feel that's where I'm at, with the whole jukebox.
Oh yeah. Tell me about that.
I was looking on YouTube, noticing a lot of artists having jukeboxes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? They play the whole album top to bottom.
Right.
It's sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and they have the divisions in it.
Yeah.
So you can bounce around. What do you have any? Because I know you've done things on that front.
Yeah, that's a very easy thing to do, and I think most artists can actually use this to their advantage. Especially useful when you're dropping an EP.
Yeah.
When you're dropping an album or a past album.
Right.
Yeah. Even DJs do that. If they drop a huge mix, divide it all up, right? So that it shows up as the different songs in that mix. And then podcasters do it because you see different chapters for the podcast.
Right, the different topics.
Yeah, that they go through. Right. We do that and Unfiltered.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a very easy task. It's an easy thing that's available to you right now, on your own YouTube channel.
Okay.
In the description, you just have to tag the timestamps. As you So yeah, so if your whole album, upload the whole album, right? The whole 90-minute, 50-minute album.
Okay.
let's just say 50-minute album, and then like track 1 is at 0, track 2
Okay.
is like at 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
Track 3 is like at 7.5 minutes,
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So in the description, you just put it in like 00, track 1, this.
And it creates those chapters
Yeah.
in the timeline that's up there.
Yeah, it'll just do it. YouTube will automatically do it.
Wow.
And yeah, that's available to you like right now. But then the animated part of the jukebox, like the part where artists like make like a little something like a
around.
CD that's moving, or like the
all
track
right.
list kind of like hovering.
Yeah.
Those are just, you know, just animation. You know, those are just graphics, you know, people doing design work. You know,
Yeah.
you can do it off of Fiverr.
So that's what I was gonna ask, is like some of these are a little intricate, where
Yeah.
different track titles get highlit.
Yeah, it's
at the right
all
time.
in the video edit.
So
you know,
that video edit has to somewhat be made with this description, the YouTube description process
with
in
the
mind,
timestamps.
right?
Yeah, it's got to follow the same timestamp.
So can you do that within softwares themselves? Like, can you mark like certain times, you know, so like maybe that way it mirrors, right? Like completely on YouTube.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, you do like
So
first.
that's what it is.
The process for this would be like first, you grab all your songs in that album.
Okay.
10 songs, you got it, right?
Okay.
Put them all in that, and you may not do this, right? Somebody else might be doing the video side of things.
Sure.
But that person will put all the songs in the timeline for the, you know, on Adobe Premiere or DaVinci or whatever software they use. You know, the one on Apple.
Final Cut, right?
Final Cut.
Yep,
you know, they'll just drop all the audio tracks over it.
Okay.
And then they'll just follow that timeline. So like they'll just
Yeah.
create portions of the video on
Right.
top, you know, another layer. Like just like you know, you do mix master, right? So
Right.
like you got one layer for the vocals.
Right.
You got a layer below it that's like the beat, right?
Right.
So
Sure.
this like audio will be like the
Sure.
main layer that you're building everything out of, you know?
I
And
see.
then the top layers are just gonna be visual like effects that they put.
different cues at different times.
Yeah. They just like cut
I
it up
see.
in a way so it looks like it, you know?
Ah.
It's really not a jukebox, you know? It's just like
no,
a
it's made
visual.
to look like it.
Yeah, the
but-
visual looks like it.
Okay. Okay.
And then they'll export that, and they'll take that to YouTube, and based on the timestamps that the songs were at,
You're right.
that's how they'll write the description.
They'll write
so
that.
they'll
They'll
write
copy
it at
paste
the end.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They'll just write it up at the end, you know,
Sweet.
so they know where it is in
Yeah.
actuality. you
And
know?
that's for you to do as the uploader.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At the app. So that's another thing also, is recognizing how much of a task it is after the music has been created.
Right.
And then like this process, which is syncing, right, like the different chapters
Right.
of your
yes,
album.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is all done with other folks.
It would be ideal to do it with other folks, you know, but
Right.
if an artist can't afford to work with others, then I would say like working with friends who are in the same type of place.
Sure.
But if that's also not possible, because you don't want to also take advantage of your friends, you know what I
That's
mean?
real.
So many things
That's
like that.
real. Yeah.
Then
You
like,
can only call so many favors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last option is doing it yourself, you know. But the best option is going on Fiverr and like finding
Right.
somebody
Right.
who'll do it on the low, you know,
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
and you know,
That fits your budget. Yep.
yeah, that fits your budget. Yeah, if you have a you know, lower budget, and on Fiverr you'll be surprised to find like the prices over there. You know, they have pricing for everything,
Sure.
every budget. You know,
Sure.
So, like, yeah,
and
video
talent for
editors.
every budget, really.
yeah, you got talent
Because
yeah.
it's worldwide.
It's
and
worldwide. Yeah.
Currencies translate differently.
Right. Yeah. You'll work with somebody from Pakistan or like India or
Right.
Bangladesh or like Philippines, you know.
Right.
And they'll do a great job, and you know they want to work. And
Exactly.
Eastern Europeans too, like there's a lot of them.
Right.
know,
That do great work.
Great work.
And it's really a matter of taking the initiative to go scout. And that also is in and of itself a process.
Right.
So what I think alluding to more is that, yeah, this is here a collaborative effort. These
Yeah.
jukeboxes aren't something that can get like ready-made, spit out. Like this seems to
Right.
be a bit of a
Right.
coordinated effort.
Yeah.
And the more creative ones, I think, have
They stand out.
they have a little bit of attention to them,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of folks are listening to their music on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm doing a disservice by just like doing a regular picture, you know, a stagnant picture.
Right.
And that's not something that, whereas like if there's a little bit of animation even,
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more engaging.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
I think like if there was a graph of like popularity over amount of work that you got to do in the release, Like it would be like for people like Drake who are super popular.
Yeah.
For them, they don't have to do shit. So like
they just show up.
Yeah, he drops albums with just the album cover. That's it. Just the audio version of it is just Drake just standing there, you know?
Right.
That's the fucking thing.
Right,
but
right.
for like famous like artists who are on the come up or
Right, right.
trying to get an advantage over the rest. Yeah,
Right.
if it's a little animated, if something's happening, it'll capture the eyes of the person who's scrolling, you know?
So being
That's all we need.
entertaining is a big asterisk with these
Right.
visualizers.
Yeah.
So doing the bare minimum even there is going to get you those bare minimum results.
That's what I think, you know, and some
think so
artists
too.
Yeah, some artists
I
may
agree.
be like, "Nah, you know what? My song is so good. I don't need all this fucking gimmicks," you know?
Yeah.
Some artists say that, you know, and
Yeah.
for me, from the business side, and my mind goes to the business, it just irritates the fuck out of me. It's like, what do you mean? Okay, look, I get it. You don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But if we want to get your song out there, then we got to do some special things. Like
Yeah,
it can't
we-
be normal. Like you're not a normal artist. Why do we got to do these boring things? You know?
Exactly. and then expect something exceptional
Right.
to come back.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I think it behooves myself to be collaborative,
Right.
you know, a lot more.
Yeah.
And not look at everything as a task that I would have to do myself,
Yeah.
therefore discouraging me from getting it done.
Right.
But really, like, I wanted to come in here today to ask you about that jukebox because I was like, this is really interesting, and this
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is something I think will be totally within your wheelhouse. Now, I'll talk to you about that later, you know,
Yeah,
off
for
mic.
sure. Yeah.
But like, okay, to that effect, right? What about Spotify visualizers? Do you know about that?
Yeah, Spotify visualizers are pretty awesome. They're available to you as well. Like,
damn
they're
it.
available to any artist who's registered into Spotify for artists.
Yeah.
You know, that artist.spotify.com. That particular
The
dashboard.
artist account.
Yeah, the artist account.
Right.
So yeah, every artist should go to artists.spotify.com and
Right.
register and, you know, connect the songs and all that stuff. So in that profile, like once you upload a song through DistroKid or TuneCore or you know the many distribution platforms
Right.
available, which one do you use?
Man, I use DistroKid right now.
DistroKid is awesome. Yeah,
But I'm looking to make a switch on that too.
Sure.
Look around.
there's a
little
few.
bit.
Yeah, 3 RPM is a good one.
It's a good. It's not bad to like try different distribution.
Yeah.
Right. This might be a little bit off topic, but
No,
like,
no, it's on topic. Yeah.
yeah.
for
So,
sure.
okay. So like, I think it. When it comes to it, I've been maybe just being very tunnel vision with how I do things, and I think a lot of these other distribution platforms offer different perks. So
Right.
if
Yeah.
you have the elasticity, you know, why not try out different ones?
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
There's different opportunities, right, on
Yeah.
different platforms.
you
and-
can. Yeah, you can see like you can make a comparison. You know, the prices are also different.
Sure.
Sometimes they're very close, but I mean, yeah, different platforms provide different things. But you know, in general, DistroKid, TuneCore, 3 RPM, these are pretty, you know, set standards. They're pretty awesome. I think, you know, DistroKid does empower the artists in so many ways.
It's just
I love
that
that.
I can do the splits.
You can do
That's
the
my
splits.
biggest thing.
That's the best thing.
It's
Yeah.
so easy.
Yeah.
And I get full control over it.
Yeah.
Like there's no you
I
know,
love that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a click away. And that's how it should be if everything's
how it should
digital anyway.
Mhm.
Like this is why are we sweating it like that? So like
Yeah.
that's something that's been a reason why that I've been uploading a lot more. That way I can also offer folks that I collaborate with, especially when, you know, budget is tight, like I'll give you back, you know, and in terms of royalties
Right.
or in terms of streaming splits, and let's, you know, get this together. And more
Right.
often than not, folks like have been, you know, supportive of myself or whatever they're contributing to.
Right.
They see the angle and they're like, man, what's one song? For sure.
Yeah.
And that it's great. It's been great that
helps.
way. But like these other sites also have like different perks,
Right.
and they have different services also that they offer, I believe,
Mhm,
that
yeah.
I think I can
Yeah.
look into.
There are
at
lots.
least.
There are lots available nowadays.
Sick. Okay, so sorry. Got
So
off
yeah,
that.
when you upload something through DistroKid and send it out, you know, when it hits Spotify on Spotify for artists, you will see that it's
You have an
available.
upcoming release.
Yeah, it shows up in the
Yeah.
upcoming releases tab.
Yeah.
And you know, that only happens if you have a date that's like further out, you know, not like in 2 days it's dropping.
No,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
A lot of artists
You don't
make
get
that
that
mistake.
treatment, yeah.
Don't ever do that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Okay, let's
Yeah.
highlight that real quick. Take a month.
One
At
month.
least
Mm-hmm.
3 months is the one. If you can have your project done 3 months before the drop date,
Mm-hmm.
you are making yourself available to whatever resources Spotify might have that they need that time to get to.
Yeah, Spotify, people have always told me, like, tell your artists 1 month, at least 1 month. And then, most artists do hit that. Some artists don't. Some artists just like get unprofessional and like it gets delayed. And then, everything is delayed.
I'm right here.
No, it happens.
Yeah, no, it's true. And and I think in terms of not even delaying it, you just put it out.
Right.
Because
that's the
worst.
That's the worst.
But for me as an artist, man, it's like it feels so good when you get things released. We are not thinking about the plan. I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
And as much as we feel our personal release, so to speak, we didn't do justice, to the music and to the effort.
Right. Yeah. And at the same time, that's also fine. We both have a philosophy here at Unfiltered that echoes James Clear's point where he says artists and creatives need to have the freedom to just create things.
Yeah.
And not he says create junk, but like create things. That's the truth. Like, so if you're creating songs, you just want to put them out, that's your right. You should do it,
Sure.
Because then through that process, you'll find the hits too, So
sure.
it's okay. Some of them don't have to be like huge marketing ploys.
I think we should, take these guidelines into account.
Right.
And like, not for everything, right? Not for all your releases. So that was something I was going to ask. Was that what if... Oh, go ahead.
Before you even get to that
my
question.
My bad.
I think we should quickly wrap up that like Spotify question.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I'm all these tangents.
But like put a flag on that.
I got it.
Okay. So once DistroKid has the song, like it has distributed the song to Spotify, you'll see it in the upcoming releases tab.
Right.
Over there will be an option for add canvas. Add canvas.
Oh, okay.
Hit that add canvas, and pop-up will pop up where you can upload like a vertical video.
Right.
It's only got to be 12 seconds.
So vertical video. Oh, 12 seconds.
12-second vertical video.
What do you know about the ratio? What that is?
It's just going to be a normal like vertical for a phone like Instagram, like 1920 by 1080.
Okay.
Okay. 1920 by 1080.
That's the canvas.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. Okay.
So you can you can tell your video guy, like the guy who put your video together, you could tell him like, yo, can you give me like a few options that are like 10-12 seconds, that would look good on the loop. Make it a loop,
This is okay, see that right there. I wasn't making that connection. I appreciate you holding my hand through this. That talk to your collaborators, the ones that you did in the past, the ones that, because they're not just like there in that locked in time. Right. Those assets are there sitting on some hard drive. Right. If they are any halfway responsible, and you can ask them for like, hey, is there a slow-mo here that might make me look good for this particular song or something? Yeah. Or for this. So that canvas, by the way, that's only for that one song.
That's for that one song.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a canvas, so to speak, for like your homepage or something? Is there like a
no.
Or there's no move? Okay, so that's just the picture that shows up. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's with each of the songs. Even an EP, you can change each song in the entire EP to have a different like animation or whatever you want. Clip from a video.
Right. Yeah. So that way you can go back, maybe assign all this stuff right to. Yeah. Can you do it to your past songs?
Yeah, you can do it to everything.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to get on, it sounds like.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so for the past songs, it won't be in the upcoming releases section. You'd have to click around and, let me see, actually.
Just go back to your catalog a little bit.
Yeah, you just have to go to your catalog, and you can also do it on the app. So I'm just opening up the app right now. And yeah, if you just pull up any song on the app that you have, like any of your songs, past songs, just pull up on this any of the songs, and then you'll see edit canvas like right at the top, or add canvas if you don't have one already. So,
edit canvas, yo.
There you go, and that's where you.
So what's my canvas right now? Oh yeah. Oh, so that's what that is.
Oh yeah, there you go. You have one.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of this. I don't know when this and how this got made.
Who released that?
We did, but
Somebody
See,
made
but
it,
that's
bro.
yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. I shout out to the team. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody.
This one has it, but I don't have control over some of these things. I haven't really like looked into all of this. Like,
sure.
I'm getting a handle on the buttons right now. This is
That's
dope.
good.
And I've been okay. So you can create okay. So see, this one doesn't have one. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Duly noted.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like
yeah.
that's a huge one for me.
Yeah.
Because now you can go back and like create these little animated things that only help drive engagement.
Right.
Music sells everything except itself.
Yeah.
You got to do everything around it.
Right.
You know, and
you got to tap into the culture, the brand, the ideal, the ideas that you're dropping in that song.
Yeah.
You got to tap into all of that.
And then personify, animate it, you know, like make it engaging that way.
Yeah.
So be entertaining is like a huge asterisk here.
Right.
Yo, just real quick, today in the morning, I got like a little thing about Reels and like how I can maximize my engagement on Reels. Like it was on some article. And one of I think the third thing was be entertaining. Like there has to be something that you do put there. So to that effect, I think collaborating with folks who have some experience, you know, like bringing some ideas to life in an engaging way, I think that would be better.
Right.
Instead of doing some bare minimum stuff.
Right.
Because there are a lot of AI generated things too out there.
Yeah.
That I mean might be good for you.
That could be
right
also
now,
something. Yeah.
And you know it serves your purpose in an artistic way. But yeah, I've seen some of these other jukeboxes and things like that were like really nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
For sure.
Especially with Fiverr.
Yep.
It's dope. Like there are people out there whose passion is to do this, you know. So as the artist, like as your own music, you're making your own music, like that's your passion. You love that.
Right.
Like you the other day I asked you, like you were like, oh man, it's been such a long time since I got to touch my songs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, really? How long has it been? And you're like 2 weeks. It's
been
like,
2 weeks.
It hurts like to like be away from your stuff for like 2 weeks, you know?
Right. Don't minimize how much you dismiss it after you heard 2 weeks. Like, bro, it really wasn't that much time. You're right. But it feels that way. It feels like eons.
But that's like your passion, and like to some other people, it's the video editing, the animation, like putting together a jukebox for an artist. You know,
so tap into that.
That's
like,
their thing.
Reach out that way, and
Yeah.
if you can like slide them like it's not like a label budget, you know. So if you can do bare minimum on that front, I feel like Fiverr, you're saying, does offer some options.
Yeah, Fiverr's great. Your friends are great if you have friends who you could work out a deal
Always
with.
work with work with the homies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Humbly speaking, shout out to all of you on Fiverr and Upwork and all that. But if having friends that can, you know, work with you and translate is always the best. In my opinion.
Yeah. So recently I did like a Reddit AMA. Ask me anything.
Okay.
And so I got in there and told them, like, you know, what I've done for the past, decade or so, and like, ask me anything. Let's
hear it.
I got so many questions, man, and I'll pick out some of them. Yeah, it's like I tried to, like, as I answered them, I tried to like give like some context as well, like, that not that every we've got the answer to everything. Or everything that I say is gonna apply to everybody. That's not the case. It's up case by case.
Right, and it's up to you to discern. It's up to you to like cherry pick. I think things from people's stories. So
so I got a good one, man. I actually want to start with the one that this is the one that got the most upvotes. And so like I liked this one a lot. So this guy wrote. The common perception of A&R in the past couple of decades has been that labels don't really discover and develop the way they used to 50 to 60 years ago. So labels seem to only be interested in proven artists and largely viewed as redundant. What does a label offer to a more modern artist that they haven't already proven that they can do themselves? So I went at it. I was like, dude, you're absolutely right. Because the fact is, labels don't give a fuck about any of that extra work. Because, like, why do all this hard work, right? Like, why go out there and try to discover an artist and then, fix him up?
Buff them up
like,
for their first ever release.
Fuck that.
No, we're past that.
It's a lot of work,
We're past that.
Why do that? Because, like, now with the marketplace, we can see who's doing well. And there are multiple, like, metrics that people can look at. You know,
you cannot discount the business aspect in the music business.
Right.
Like the music is the first half,
Right.
but then this business side it is dollars and cents. It is numbers.
Right.
And yeah, in 2023, if you're not already pushing ahead, it's true. But so go ahead. What were you saying?
The labels are looking for people who already have something going, you know, and then they can take them to the next level.
It makes
you know?
sense.
That's the most important thing. And
Just because the way that music is now, like you don't need a lot to make good music.
right.
And I think there are ways to figure out how to make good music.
Right. Right.
So I think yeah, you should. I think that first half is good. Okay.
Yeah. And you know,
Yeah.
the biggest advantages that labels can still give artists to this day
Okay.
is connections, you know, the network,
Yeah.
because they're tapped into all the talented folks who, you know, are producers and who are, you know, the sound engineers and the songwriters. Like, how would you get access like that other than, like, if you have your own network that you've built over a period of time? Other than that, like, the label is the best key to get that network, you know?
Yeah, but even then, like, there's no guarantee that you're going to tap into this network on your own.
Right.
It's when you become, like, you know, when you commit to business with certain folks. Now they're like, okay, we have, a vested interest here.
Right.
And we need to, you know, make sure that this next product that comes out is good.
Right.
You're right. I think it's to a certain point they need you to be ready for that.
Right.
They don't need somebody who, like, or they're not going to take anybody anymore that just never made a song before, doesn't understand, like, the process,
Right.
or like just the sheer amount of work that it takes.
Yeah.
It's like then you prove to be ready for that opportunity, that
Right.
like, yeah, you are given access to these talented folks who are going to level you up. You're not going to squander that.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's the kind of artist development that they provide is connections and networks with other people. You know, labels do songwriting camps.
Yeah.
Often, like, if it's a good label, you know, they'll do songwriting camps. They'll put people together and see what they come up with. These are big advantages that artists can still get to this day. You know, and then, like, labels know a lot of people in the PR industry, in the blog industry. You know, labels often know somebody who works at, you know, Instagram. Like, Instagram has reps that work with labels. You know, all the apps have reps who work with labels. You know, TikTok,
All of them.
So, like, they can help all your social media problems. If you need a verified check for, like, a name that's obscure,
Right.
you know, or like a name that's common, but, like, it's, you know, you just want the first name or something.
Sure.
They can hook you up, you know.
Yeah. It's all a matter of them, like, just pressing those buttons for you.
Right.
And
right.
you taking the step, to establish that kind of connection.
Right. Yeah. In these ways, I think labels provide a lot of value.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that the problem is the things that they don't add value to, which is, you know, your own fan following. Like, labels, like, you would still have to do that yourself. You should, you know, garner your own audience. You should have your own audience that you have created from the beginning, that you have full
that audience
control
is
over.
now going to grow, though,
They're gonna grow
within this label system.
Yeah, but you should have access to that completely.
Yes.
Like, that should be under your umbrella, you know,
Right.
not under the label's umbrella, because they'll take it if they can. So, like, you gotta have, like, meaning. What that means is, like, you gotta have your own newsletters, your own social media that's, like, controlled by you.
Ways to speak directly to your fans.
Ways to speak directly to them.
Yes.
So those things are really important. But, you know, the other thing that's very important is for the artists to read the fine line in the contracts.
Yeah.
Because the labels, for all of these services that I mentioned, they're going to try to take a lot of money in advance. Like, by giving you money, they're actually just giving you a loan.
Yes, loan. 100%.
It's just a loan that they're going to recoup at very high interest rates.
Yeah.
We don't need that. You know, like, if an artist is wanting to go to the label for, like, that money, like, for the advance, then that artist is not going to have the leverage, you know?
Yep.
If you go to a label, want that advance, and use that advance, you're going to be expected to, like, give it back. A better way to do it is getting a bank loan. You know, like, if an artist needs money, pitch to a bank. Tell them your plan, your marketing plan, your business plan, how many partners you have, all your buddies. Because now you're not with a label, you don't have all those connections, but you need to have your own network.
Right.
If you can take that and pitch it to a bank, Tell them how you're gonna recoup
that we
their
have
money.
these people ready
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
XYZ in these places.
And then we're gonna do all these shows that,
Right,
and we're gonna
right.
sell these clothes.
right.
Then we'll recoup that money.
right.
You know, that's why it'll be a good loan. And then the bank will give you, these are like smaller loans than houses. Like people buy houses, right? For like $400,000 in
Right,
America,
right,
you know,
right,
like
right.
on average, you know?
I mean, that's just like, yeah.
Like this is like a marketing budget for like album release, 50,000, 100,000. Take that, flip it, you know, put it on
Right.
social media and like sell your album, sell those tickets, you know, do it.
You have to do other
So-
things around your music.
Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah.
music sells everything except itself.
Right.
So if you are given a budget to that, you got to figure out how are we going to promote this thing,
Right.
and how are we going to make sure that we recoup. Because
Right.
it is business at the end of the day, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how you get proven, I think, as a brand,
Right.
that you recoup and then some.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is all solid steps.
It's yeah, and it's difficult. You know, it's difficult because like, even pitching to a bank for that loan is a difficult job. You
They're
gotta
not
have
just
your
going to give it to you.
no, you gotta have all your ducks in a row,
Sure.
and then it would work.
And they're still going to review that.
Yeah.
They're still going to vet that out.
Yeah.
And
a
if
whole
you
process.
if you don't have, like what we talked about before was like your following, if you don't have a presence, all of these things become moot points. And
Mm-hmm.
like you need to have it hit a certain threshold. At least at this day and age, it's all online.
Mm-hmm.
People are directly looking straight at these platforms.
Right.
I used to really despise that
Mm-hmm.
folks were like getting bookings off of social media presence because
Mm-hmm.
they were horrendous performers, and they just this
Right.
was everything was just kind of
It
going
happens,
to shit,
yeah.
right? Like
Mhm.
because you're putting on people that are popular, not necessarily talented.
Right.
And some of the folks that have like the worst social media followings are incredible assets in studios and
Right.
big label systems
Right.
that sometimes I feel like they are trying to keep them out of like, mainstream
Right.
discussion because those rates go up differently.
Of course.
And I think like there is a certain angle to this in that we talked about A&Rs first, right? This is what this question was about, right?
Right.
And in that sense, I think that there is something to that exclusivity,
Mm-hmm.
and that like if you know, otherwise this talent is a secret weapon, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And what if that talent has been responsible, they'll have negotiated a good rate, they'll have figured out, they'll got all their ducks in order so that they can
Mm-hmm.
afford not to go online and have to find people to work with, etc., or like really necessarily even have to parade their accomplishments. So those are things like that.
That's true.
Sorry, I got off topic here. We were talking about people are now directly booking based off of your social media engagement,
right.
and giving you bigger opportunities to grow. So it behooves you now, and like I'm in line now, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Like let's get these social media things to
Yeah.
like these platforms to really interact the way that you would if you met me in person, because me in person is very different right now compared to how I look on social media.
Sure.
And I think take the time to work on that. And then I think this stuff about folks giving you advances, or you seeking a loan, whatever that may be, it'll be worth it.
Right.
Because I think sometimes it behooves artists to start to be in a label system.
Yeah.
Get your profile up, get
Right.
your cachet up.
Yeah.
And A&Rs still do that, right? Like
Yeah.
they still provide that conduit.
Yeah.
I know a few of them.
They're trying to.
I still know a few folks that
Yeah.
get you sync placements.
Yeah.
That get you spots where, like, if you have the right record that they're looking for, then they'll do whatever they can to get you, residual.
Right.
And like that's awesome.
Right.
So no, I do think A&Rs are still valuable, and I
Yeah.
do think that's still a position. It changes with the times. Of course, it's not going to be the same as 50, 60 years ago. That's when you were like in the studio and you were like over the artist's, shoulder, like, hey, the label wants it like this. Like
right.
that's not what this is
Yeah.
anymore. Like
Yeah.
A&Rs are very different, right?
Right.
Like they are, if anything, they are sifting through.
Yeah, they're trying to discover the next
They are.
thing always.
They're still here.
And the truth about A&Rs and like any music industry label reps and people like that, or like CEOs of record labels, end of the day they're humans. They're working at a corporation. They're working at a job. It's a
Right.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
To an A&R, it's a 9 to 5. To a artist, it's a dream.
Yes.
It's different.
It's life. Yeah.
So if you can like at face that A&R, like that label rep, that meeting that you're gonna have, if you can face him like knowing that he's doing a 9 to 5, so let's make his job easier.
Yeah.
Like what does he want? Okay, he wants to discover somebody new. He wants to feel excited about a new talent.
Yeah.
He's been listening to music for the past 10 years, like
Right.
in this job,
Right.
because he's an A&R. But you have to remember that before this, he was passionate about music. That's why he joined this job.
Yeah.
Like end of the day, artists need to remember that people who work at labels are in the music industry because they're passionate about music.
Because they like music.
Yeah, they understand music, they like music, and they in that company they wanna brag about the new artist that they found.
Hell yeah.
Because they feel these things. Oh, I found a new artist. You want him to say these things.
The finder's rights.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
And you want him to feel excited. So like, if you go to that meeting and provide things for him to like get excited about, you know, that he can brag about.
Make some fire. That's what we're saying.
Make some fire, connect
Yeah,
him, tell him stories, like buy him into your thing,
Yeah, build a narrative, have it ready for him.
Yeah.
Like let him
make it easy for him to just
or
click.
her. Yeah, absolutely.
For them to like just give a click, go like, oh, this is dope. Oh, that's great. Let him have his fun. Like he joined the music label so that he could do these things.
Right.
He wants to have fun, listen to your music, and go like, oh yeah, this is dope. Like
remember that they are human still, and they do appreciate good music.
Right.
So no matter how you feel about like the priority side, that we are at the end of the day human.
Right.
And we're alike in that way. So make stuff that you can pitch to folks in higher places that can help you.
Right. Yeah.
Do them that respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for any artist, there's like one main option. Either that or you don't do it at all. And I think that main thing is a team. You need a team. Every artist needs a team. If you want to do it professionally, gotta have a team.
I wanted to say real quick about that is that if you have people vouching for you, it's much more impactful than when you go out there promoting yourself.
Right.
Sure, we all have to do that in the beginning. We all have to pitch ourselves. I don't, deny that. But at a certain point, after you feel you have refined your skills, start looking outwards to folks who are at the ground floor, with all due respect.
Right.
And they are looking to catch one with somebody. They might not have the talent, but they have the business savvy. Yeah. They have the connections to get that job that gets someone to pull the trigger on your project. Like this is how you got to navigate. And I know it might seem a little calculated, but we're all here to be used, just not misused.
Right.
That's it. And just be respectful of that.
Yeah.
And I think everybody can make a lot of success happen.
Yeah.
For
it's
themselves.
like point number one for any kind of business or brand to build. It's like you start by yourself, do the songs yourself. You learn all the different aspects of it. Then you go hire out, you go find who can replace me, in these little aspects of the job that I don't like.
Yep.
Whoa. Who can replace me?
Yeah.
So you go find who can replace me. That's how you grow a little team.
Right.
And from that team, you grow that team into a more valuable team. You get them trained so they're better and better and better. And then you pitch that team to other people to get capital. That you say, look, I'm the leader. This is my team. This is the shit we make. Give me some capital.
Yeah.
And
we can go get some together.
That's how you grow.
Yeah.
And anything.
But then at that point, like, you shouldn't hesitate to partner with folks.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, like a lot of artists feel like, they take it 50%. They're not taking 50%, bro. They are working with you. Right, like this is, I don't understand why, like, a lot of artists gripe about that, but it's like, man, like, if you want to go the independent route, it's there.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Man, Rick Ross, he, the answer to these questions is joint ventures. Like Rick Ross has, Maybach Music Group.
Yeah.
What's that? It's his own little whatever, right? It's his own little brand that came up in his head. It was like, Maybach may pay me. All right. He made it. And then what did he do? He ventured with fucking Universal.
Right.
So it's a Universal label. It's,
right.
It's Rick Ross's team working with Universal on releases.
To deliver product.
Yeah. Yep. And I can bet you that percentage that they have share
reflects that.
Is not, it's not like 5% Universal and the rest is Rick Ross.
No.
No way.
No.
Universal's taking a huge cut.
But it's not like an egregious one, like which is like an 80-20.
Yeah, it's probably not.
Like, remember what Kanye's contract when that shit came out? Do you remember seeing that? oh man, he released all his Universal contracts, and I think at that time College Dropout was the only one that was out, so it had slots for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums. The first one, College Dropout, was the only one that was written in, and he was getting something like 16% for that album. And it's just because, yeah, he probably took out like a crazy loan like from the label, and they need to get their shit back.
Right.
So like, no, we're gonna do that. Whereas if a percentage is such a problem for you, yeah, do the work so that you have some leverage, and then you now have a partnership that you can, like start utilizing other people's funds. Speaking of Rick Ross, he did that in Mastermind. Like he talked about, you can use other people's money to get ahead. It's all good.
Yeah, he got some capital from them, right?
Yeah.
And this example with Kanye, bro, like this happened this one time. Like I was working with an artist, and like one of the major labels, one of the big three, they were like, they got deal with them for the first song.
Okay.
It was a single and an EP that's following, and then they, that was good. That while that was going, these smart people at the label was like, all right, this guy's talented, slap him with 5 more. Like, let's see, is he gonna agree to the next 5? Let's get the next 5. Next 5 songs, next 5 EPs, whatever it is, next 5 projects, we're gonna pay it.
Wow.
And so that artist, this was his first major label deal. So for him, it was like, oh, dude, what?
They want 5?
Now they're on the next 5. That's
wow.
dope. But for me, my advice to the artist was, bro, calm down.
Yeah.
What it like? Because the first 2 that was going, like the first one and then the EP that was gonna go, wasn't released yet. So I was like, hold on, what if these work really good, and then you can leverage that and get a better deal for the next 5? Why would you, like, we don't even know what these 2 are gonna do.
Yeah.
And B, what if they fuck it up with these 2?
Right.
Then what?
And then we're stuck now.
Then you're
with
stuck
5.
with the next 5.
Yeah.
And then what if the 5th one from here, the 5th one becomes a major hit that you could have owned yourself? Like, without knowing all this stuff.
Yeah, sure. Or they move the goalposts on the 5th one.
Or they move the goalposts.
So that like, no, that's not a project. Or
Yeah.
no, that doesn't satisfy what we said, XYZ.
Right.
It gets tricky.
At the end of the day, they agreed. And it was a great idea because bringing it back into my point that, like, all artists need one major thing, which is having a team.
Yeah.
And having a team is so important for growth.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, like, ways to scale, is through the team.
Right.
That same thing, can be done in 2 ways. There are 2 options that everybody has, like at least artists, musicians.
Okay.
2 options. One way is make the team yourself, right?
Yeah.
All your buddies, or like go on Fiverr, form a team. Like, it'll take long, but it's a longevity route.
Yeah.
It's a great route.
Excuse me. Yeah. Let's glorify the grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good longevity route. And then the other way is to get that team from the label. So I don't see any other way. Is there any other way to form a team? I feel like that's it, right?
That's it.
You could outsource it or do it yourself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you join the label will make the team.
They will handle that for you.
That'll be dope.
And if anything, they will raise you to a certain standard.
Yeah, they'll improve you. So yeah, even if the label provides artists with a team, for however long they want to, I think at the end of the day, the artist himself needs to, like, have their own teams, like, for sure. Like, even if you are the kind of artist who don't want to do that, like, there are artists out there who think that they don't want to go out there doing all this legwork, putting teams together. They don't want to do it, right? Like, there are artists like that. I think for them, they should partner up with a guy who can be their manager,
right?
Or a guy or a gal who's like, gung-ho about this stuff, knows her shit,
and passionate about
the music.
Yeah,
there's a connection. There's a heart-to-heart. Those kind of that kind of a person needs to become the partner of the artist.
Right.
Like, they need to buy into each other, like have equity, like
all of that.
It should be together. Like, we're doing a career together.
Exactly.
Now go form a team.
Just
that would be the best way that the artist can step away from that responsibility.
It's true. It's true. And having somebody to be like their feedback, in terms of this very logistical part, which is like, what comes after the music, what comes after you're done being creative for that time. How do we really effectively monetize everything? It behooves everyone to get a team, like,
you have
for
to.
Sure, one way or another. You should be working with others to, like, get everything done.
Artists need manager friends or, like, business minded friends, buddies, who can, like, work with them, to, like, take things to the next level.
Absolutely.
Okay. another question. I'll just pop out of here.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a question about social media and content. There's one about how to get signed. Okay. Let's start with the one about social media. Is it worth it to just pay someone to manage your social media and content? I'm getting a steady amount of listeners, but can't seem to break to that next level. So I think my answer to that is like social media is all about strategy.
Yeah.
It's not just posting shit, like just whenever you want. Although those are nice, but you have to have a strategy. And then on top of it, you can post whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
from time
yeah.
to time,
So what is strategy to you?
Strategy is like having a plan of action, like from a schedule. To begin with, a schedule, once a week or, however many times you want to do it a week. You got to have that type of a schedule. You got to plan that like, okay, I'm going to have these different types of content pieces.
Right.
If you're good at text-based stuff, write huge captions. If you're not, then focus on, other things. If you're good at images, post more pictures.
Yeah.
If you're good at video content, put out more videos.
Right.
But like, you got to have strategy of like, okay, I'm going to post this many reels. I'm going to post this many pictures. There are going to be some quotes in there. There's going to be these stories. Whatever it is, you got to kind of plan it out, have that strategy. Yeah. And then follow through.
Rinse,
every
repeat.
week.
Yeah. Okay.
All the time.
So like having the content part is huge too.
Right.
Knowing like what you're going to shoot, what you're going to post. All of that stuff is kind of, it's tough to deal with on your feet. Like when you have a full life already. So it behooves you sometimes to have people to coordinate.
To outsource that.
Yeah. And to suggest, hey, maybe can we get you shooting this? Can we get this? Do screen record. Do you know how to do that? And then like for whatever you might be, putting up on social media, there's somebody to provide his feedback.
Yeah.
This would be a good piece.
Yeah.
Or something.
That's right. Yeah, again, having that team is gonna change everything, right?
Man, that's the moral of probably every story.
That's.
I'm really happy I did like sports and stuff as a kid because like that taught you that from the beginning.
Right.
That like not one person here is really important. Some people might view others as more hardworking, but this is a team effort, and we all need to be here on this court to make this happen. So yeah,
absolutely.
I think you can translate
into
everywhere.
Everything, right? That's so true. Entrepreneurs need teams.
Yeah.
Podcasters, YouTubers need teams.
I heard somewhere, sorry. I read on Twitter somewhere that the artist should be the hardest working person on the team, though.
Right.
Like I've never heard of a team dragging an artist to success. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if they have, then it's fizzled out quickly.
Right.
And it hasn't been something sustainable. Whereas the workhorses create, create like a roster that is, kind of looking up to them.
Right.
In terms of drive, initiative.
That's so true.
We want to do this, we want to do that. Okay, this is how we can get it done. Or we can do it like this maybe, or so artists should take that upon, like don't forget that it's not just like a one-sided thing, like all of a sudden I have a team, now I can like slow up
chill
on my
out.
role. No,
if you are an artist, you're the CEO of this company. And even the same advice applies to entrepreneurs and other people who are building things from the ground up. It's like if you have a team under you, you're the boss, you're the CEO. As the CEO, you need to be the hardest working person here.
Have to,
because everybody will see your example, and leading by example is the best way to lead. Like
always,
if you're gonna lead by like pushing others to do this, hey, do that, hey, please do that, but you're not doing nothing, then nobody's gonna want to do anything.
They're gonna catch on. They're gonna catch on quickly.
Come on, bro.
Like you what do you do exactly?
And that's like I think the best advice. I think that's the best thing that anybody can do who's building something from the bottom up. Is just like take on that responsibility and take that ownership.
I think far more artists that are gaining success, they're doing it outside of the system and playing their shows in select cities and having their cult following. And you don't really need a lot of people to really I guess make a living. If you have these giant dreams of superstardom and all of that, it's great, it's valiant, but like demonstrating even on that level that, hey, did my bills get paid just because of these tracks I made? And some of these folks don't really like, I guess, advertise as much, but they have their social media followings, you know, their whatever it may be, but you don't really see them doing stuff on social media. If anything, it's pictures of reality that they have posted. And knowing that, it's maybe, you know, it's the focus can be also to build your fan base directly like right now.
The best,
like right now, just do this, demonstrate you got your Stripe account is popping right now, you know, your PayPal is going crazy, like right at this stage. What could a label offer me that I'm not doing myself and I'm not happy with? Sometimes you bite off bigger than you can chew. You watch Silicon Valley at all?
Finished it.
I think there was I think in the first couple of seasons somewhere there was some guy who got overvalued for his company and couldn't make the valuation happen, and it tanked his company or something.
And he was pissed off.
Yeah, like that happens. And like I think the earlier you recognize really how to gauge and scale at at an appropriate rate, the better.
Exactly. I think you're absolutely right. No matter what, everybody, like anybody who's creating content or art to sell, to monetize, should just focus on that fan base.
You can do it now
if you can just focus in and growing your super fans. There's a beautiful book about this called Super Fans. If you can do that and cultivate your audience and really connect with them, and you know, that book mentions that you should target 1,000 super fans instead of targeting like 1 million views or like 100,000 fans. Just find 1,000 super fans, and then you'll be set. You know, and great example of that is Nipsey Hussle. You know, one of his projects was I think $1,000 album. Sold it to 100 people.
100 grand.
Made 100 grand. You know, and those 100 people were super duper fans. You know,
right? And they'll put the 1,000 up.
Him.
But like, and for working Americans, if you have like driven them to a point of passion, they'll spend the money.
Right.
And I think that speaks to your greatness as an artist.
Right.
That like you created that.
And was Nipsey Hussle, was it like $1,000 to 100 people, or was it 1,000 to 1,000? 1,000?
No, it was $1,000 mixtape.
Okay.
It was 100% $1,000. And then I heard like Hove bought 10. Something like that.
Yeah, just to support him.
So, yeah. So like things like that happen.
Yeah.
So you just got a quick 10 grand off top, and him being the independent monster that he is, like he pocketed. So I think like you're totally right. Super fandom is something attainable. You don't have to like constantly try to appeal to everyone. Right. Try to get like these mass these mass audiences to vibe. Right. When in actuality, your fan base, people who will truly enjoy what you have to offer, they're out there if you just take the time out to engage. I'm speaking to myself right now too, bro. I'm trying to like get myself ready for like being on camera more often than not, you know, and like and off my own volition. That's something for me as an artist to work through, which is just like documenting everything. Because like I think a lot of the times like artists like experience freedom because no one's watching. And no one's getting to see it, and like then I think some things occur, whereas like every time I know that like a camera's on, I start to feel like I'm performing, and that I do believe affects my output. Sometimes I feel like I wish like there was a team that secretly recorded you know, like me getting into my zone and like capture those aha moments, because like I'll never remember to do that if my intent is to make something good. And that's where again having a team comes into place. You know, that's how Mr. Beast makes so many pieces of content all the time. You know, Mr. Beast has a beautiful team with him. It's a expensive production team, you know, of course,
so he gets to go create and just be himself. And those guys, that team, those guys and gals capture some dope footage every day, you know, and that's how they just put out so much content
on multiple fronts, right?
Multiple fronts. You know, Gary Vee, same thing. Like it's all the big YouTubers, the same thing. It's just they have teams around them, you know, and they just
and they're all generating content, and they'll jump in every now and then where they can. Probably schedule it that they'll appear here at this time, they'll be here at this time, but then at the same time, like all these people are working like, you know, simultaneously.
Right.
So then the output is like
Right.
4x, 5x, depending on how many
10x.
teams you can
Exactly.
afford.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's dope. Like, you know, and it's you know, all these little things even apply to us. You know, as we're, you know, trying to scale and grow. Like, we're doing our best to connect with the audience. You know, we're engaging on social media. We have you know, a newsletter that goes out, adds value every week.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's for the same purpose. It's just to connect with that audience and connect with our audience and like add value to them in every opportunity that we can get. And you know, if you guys enjoy, you know, the things that we're talking about, then yeah, hit that like button, you know, share,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
like tell your buddies, like,
Let 'em
yo,
know
check
we're
this
here.
out.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and those emails too, like, you know, there's a lot of information packed into each of these emails. You know, it's called the 1+1=3 newsletter.
Yeah.
You know, we're just tapping into the synergy that this podcast or this brand really is. You know, it's short and snappy.
Nice.
Once a week, no spam.
Get you up.
Yeah.
You know, spam. But no, get you at 'em. You know, get
Yeah.
you up and at 'em.
Right. Exactly.
Nice.
So that's how we're trying to add value. And as we grow, we're trying to also, you know, grow our teams. You know, and
Hell yeah.
so if you hit reply on that email that you signed up for, if you want to work with us, just hit reply, and then, you know, we'll figure that out. But
yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, this is I think this was a good episode. Like, we shared some key points on like growth and scaling, just that something that can be applied to just anybody, you know, not just musicians.
Yeah.
Anybody who's trying to build something from the bottom up, you know, do something new in their lives. These are the kind of things that can help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like I encourage everybody to have something that is of their own, something that is, you know, that they brought into this world.
Yeah.
Whether it's a song or a painting or a recipe or
Right.
anything, you know, something creative. I think it's a good thing for your personality.
Right.
And good thing for you to like really, like, I don't know, just exemplify your existence, your passions.
Right.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like you just got to take ownership of your own life.
I think you got to
That
do
could
things.
help.
Yeah, put things out.
Right.
And just don't be afraid of growth that way.
Right.
That things will improve as time goes along.
Exactly.
So just keep working.
Keep working and don't be a dick.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Nah, man.
Great episode.
Hell yeah.
See you next week.